It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month again. And I know from experience that there isn't enough awareness in the world. We tend to compact it somehow into October when it impacts all of us every single day. So, as in an effort to kind of bring this into your personal life, I want you this month to spend some time thinking about someone who you observed in an intimate partner relationship, maybe a friend, a roommate, a cousin, a sister, a neighbor, and you said, why doesn't she leave him? Now, remember, it's not just women who are impacted. It's 25% of men, 33% of women, and 50% of the LGBTQ and disability community. So don't let someone's personal circumstances or gender dismiss the idea that they could be a victim. But you've witnessed behavior that makes you uncomfortable, and you've always questioned why this person stayed. So, and let me be clear, it could even be someone back in college where you were like, why is she dating him? Like she dated him and she's not allowed to go out anymore, or she had to start wearing certain clothing, or she wasn't allowed to wear things. All in all, you've witnessed degrading and dismissive behavior. Maybe he's had a horrible nickname for her. Maybe she has shared stories, the victim has shared stories about controlling schedules, about always being interrupted, about how he dictates what she can wear, when she can work, what she's allowed to do with her time. You've heard stories and you walk away and say, wow, he really weaponizes money against her. Either she makes it all and she has to pay all the bills, and maybe she still doesn't have control over it. He makes the money and pays the bills, and she has zero control over money. But it's not a partnership in finances at all. And you also go through holidays. You hear about vacations. You hear about birthdays, and everything is ruined. He or the abuser is screaming, canceling events, doesn't like any of the birthday gifts that he got her. There's a lot of drama around birthdays, again, canceling of plans, a lot of screaming on vacation. And then you hear the stories of gaslighting, which has been made a little bit popular in just social media these days. But this is the stuff of crazy making. You get a sense that he blames her all the time for everything, accuses her of lying. She doesn't get the facts straight. That doesn't happen that way. He's always screaming at her about these things. And you sit and think, the victim's a pretty together person. Everyone makes mistakes. I get a sense that he's just accusing her of everything, and she is internalizing all this as truth. Now, a big issue is that we never assume that this level of interaction, these stories, could ever indicate that it's domestic violence. The truth is, all of these stories are domestic violence. Domestic violence is any behavior meant to hold power and control over another individual in an intimate partner relationship or a relationship in the home. So we need to also realize that it's not just broken bones and bruises. So black eyes and broken bones are not an indication are not the only indication that domestic violence is happening. 50% of victims do report physical abuse. 95% though report psychological abuse. So all of those examples that I just gave are all psychological abuse, the crazy making, the money with strings attached, controlling behavior. All of that is psychological torture and not physical abuse. And it's all domestic violence. So once we start to really become aware of these layers and of domestic violence and how it impacts people far beyond the victim, that's the first step in becoming aware. And then, of course, we have to figure out, well, what are we going to do with it? So it's not just the victims and survivors. One of the parts that I really do a lot of training around is, if this is someone that you're dealing with in your life, maybe it's your sister, and every day in the car you're driving to work, listening to her on the phone lament about how she's being treated at home, you're going to drag that into the office. Not to mention that your sister is also dragging all of her emotional baggage into the office with her. And the question is, what can we do for you to raise awareness? So as many of you know, that's what I'm dedicated to. And I look forward to sharing a ton of information on that subject, not just this month, but as y'all know, during the entire year. Okay, thanks so much for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.